Hello, beautiful humans. Christelle Robinson-Tiedemann here with another episode of Love and Meaning podcast. I come to you today humbled, very humbled, and in a tender place. As I record this today, I would have launched the podcast on Spotify 3 days ago now. So this is my first recording that I'm making after officially putting it out there. And it was such a moment, but not for the reasons that I thought entirely. In terms of the reasons that I thought, like I'd be proud of myself, that's an understatement. But something really profound kind of hit me in that moment. As soon as I uploaded the audio and pressed publish, and officially, I now had a podcast. I became a person who has a podcast in a second. And I'm the exact same person. And I just kind of realized that I have always been capable of this. I spend so much time thinking about things, thinking about all the reasons I can't do something, do the things that I want to do the dreams, achieve the dreams in my mind, rather than just going for them. How much time in my life, if I could add it all up, maybe ask yourself the same question. How much time have you spent thinking about doing the things that would make you feel so fulfilled? And how much doing of those things could you have done in all of that time you thought about doing it? Rather than making steps towards doing the thing. So much wasted mental space. And I'm saying this to you right now from a position of curiosity. I was brought to a lot of tears, guys, when I published the podcast. That day was a really emotional day for me. And I had such a moment with my inner child because everything kind of came to a point. For me, this was a symbolic moment of freedom, of not holding myself back, of living up to my desires, my dreams, putting myself out there, being brave, doing something that seemed scary. It was a moment for me, and it was a moment for my little girl who spent a lot of time feeling simply wrong, inadequate, dumb, bad, just didn't feel like whatever she had to offer, what she was doing seemed good enough or acceptable. There was always some sort of redirection that was coming at her. And I had a moment with her that night. My husband took me out to celebrate. And I had a moment with her that night before we went out. I was like, I just need a moment to myself before I can re-engage with the world. And I just cried and had this conversation with my inner child and told her how sorry I am for how much I believed all of those things and for all of the moments that I, shut us up or turned us down from just being who we really are, and that there's no going back. And we embraced and we hugged, and I kind of rocked with myself, just cried and rocked with myself and soothed myself, and really connected with that version of me, which is my pure self, my purest heart and creativity. And then after that, we went out and celebrated, and it was wonderful. But it was a really tender day. It wasn't high vibe excitement as I thought it might be. And so when I say so much wasted mental space, I'm saying this with curiosity because I also recognize there could have been no other way. I needed to go through this process to be here. So this isn't a shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it's a whoa, that that was all it was. Like it was just me and my belief. I'm the same. The world is the same. Everything's pretty much the same. Just one version of me did it and one didn't. And so, yes, I have been working on some things in that meantime, of course, to get here. I've been studying things, I've been doing my inner work, but I am no more capable now than I was then. The only difference is I didn't see it in myself. I didn't think I could. I didn't believe I had what it takes. But what it takes to do what? I realize now that I didn't think I had what it takes to succeed. And that was the only option. But what it really is about, and I became more viscerally aware of in that moment, I went from not podcaster to podcaster. What it really is about is having what it takes to be okay no matter what. All this time, what I have actually been building is the ability to hold myself no matter what. It was about emotional intelligence. It was about emotional resilience, nervous system soothing, the I'm okay that I give myself at any moment because it's solid in there. That was actually the thing that allowed me to follow my dream. I think I thought it was really about like gaining skills, like if I think of how I used to think of my mentors and people I looked up to and other coaches and just, you know, um, brilliant minds in the spiritual world, authors that I look up to. I used to think of them as like almost like this other earthly being or this completely different type of human that I am. I'm like, I'm not that kind of human. Like, even if I think about like millionaires, like taking the idea to money, it works the same way. Like, what is a millionaire versus me versus just, your average American? What is the difference? Like they're not a person who has marital issues, the dog pees in the living room, uh, you know, their mail, FedEx, again, did not deliver the freaking package. And now they have to go to the middle of nowhere to pick it up. It like the same stuff. It was just like, I thought I was like this whole entire other person who then achieves my dreams. But it's just me being okay inside of myself and taking steps towards the thing that I want, and then taking more steps, and then taking more steps, and literally figuring it out all along the way. It all comes down to, can I hold my emotions? Every single thing that I've avoided doing, even a conversation, comes down to I didn't believe I could handle, and I was probably correct at the time, I could handle the emotions that came with doing that thing. Couldn't handle the fear, couldn't handle the disappointment, couldn't handle rejection, couldn't handle whatever, fill in the freaking blank. But the difference between me now and me then is I have a desire, I move towards it. Whatever happens, I'm okay. I'm going to tell you what the day looked like for me that I launched the podcast. I woke up in the morning and I was excited. And it was kind of like that excitement sometimes where like I can't contain it in my body. Sometimes I do tapping. I do emotional freedom technique. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but sometimes I don't just tap for like a negative emotion. I sometimes tap when I get so excited that it feels a little too much, like too buzzy. Like I'm like I feel like I'm vibrating, and it's almost a very similar feeling to anxiety, but it's not. It's like anticipation to and I'm just like, so calm down, breathe, calm down. And I'll tap just to like breathe and calm down. It was kind of like that. So it is a more enjoyable kind of feeling, but it's a little, I had to go to work. Like it's just like a little bit too buzzy. So I was like, okay, what are we going to do? Like what is an outward action that matches this? And what it was simply celebrating. Like I love celebrating is a love language for me. And I was like, you got to channel into celebration. And so I got coffees for my coworker and my student. Got special coffees. Okay. You got yours truly. It was fancy and it was delicious. So I got us coffees, and that's how we started off the day. And that felt good. And then I went about my day. And when I walked in, actually, my coworker had written me a beautiful note. Happy launch day. Like it was so sweet. And we had already agreed and planned that we would be going to get my ears pierced. So I really wanted third holes for the longest freaking time. And I wanted to, honestly, I didn't even do it on purpose. She was one was like, that timing is so perfect. We were trying to figure out when to do it. And I realized like what a perfect day it would be to do it on launch day, so that every time I look at my ears, I'm reminded of the day that I became brave. And so midday we went and we got my ears pierced. I love them. I wish you could see them. They're fabulous. And then I came back to work, and now I'm feeling like a little bit restless, like a little bit of a restless feeling, like I want to kind of like get out of here because like I just want to like be on Spotify all day. And then it was like it's out there, so like a little bit of nervousness. I went through all these ranges of emotion. And then I had my last group of the day, and lo and behold, my student, who at this point is running my groups, I'm just supervising, had a challenging time and cried. So my coworker was like, wow, of all the days, like today is the day that the student cries, you know? I'll just tell you guys, don't, feel too bad or anything. It happens to all of them. This is a tough place. Inpatient psychiatry is tough. It's fine. They all cry at some point, but it was just so funny that it would have to be that day, you know? And I think about the old version of me and how I would have made that mean something. Like, of course, on my launch day, but not like, of course, now we're laughing. Of course, like in an annoyed kind of like, I'm so inconvenienced. Like nothing, I can't get a break. Nothing could ever just be smooth for me, can it? Of course, on my launch day, it would have to be this day that she cries. That would have been the old version of myself. Not realizing, not it's almost like such a childlike way of thinking of manifestation, thinking of achievement and accomplishment. And it's literally the barrier between, I think, that kind of like $1 million mind um, versus not is that such otherness of it, this out of reality version, rather than, yeah, okay, it's $1 million. Makes sense. Yeah, okay, it's life. Anything could happen at any moment on any day. There is no sign. There is no announcement that goes up. Hey, by the way, Crystal launched your podcast today. So everybody be in celebration mode. Like that's just not how life works. And the me of today is able to experience that, laugh, and it's still the most amazing day of my life while I'm also crying because it's the most amazing day of my life and my inner child and me are bonding in a way that I've never experienced before. All of that got to co-occur and be perfect. So continue with my day. I leave work. I go home. At this point, the tears have built up so far, like so much behind my eyes. I feel the pressure of it. And I feel like that ache in your throat when you need to cry, but you didn't let it. Because I didn't feel comfortable to cry at work and stuff. And so I got home and my husband is there ready to greet me and so ready. He's like, let's celebrate. We're going out. And I was like, yes, we are. But as I told you, I need a minute to myself. And I went into the other room and did what I told you guys I did. Had a chat with myself and bawled my freaking eyes out. I came out, mascara all over my face, went, cleaned myself up, showered, got myself together, got dressed, put my makeup on, looked like $1,000,000 and went out to celebrate with my husband. We had the most beautiful dinner. We had the most beautiful conversation. And I cried again. That was my day of my launch. And it was absolutely perfect. It was real. It was beautiful. The next morning, I got to work and my mom called. And I was thinking, like, I usually don't answer while I'm on the job because, I can't really talk. But I answered because I thought mom was calling to be like, I listened to the episode and it was amazing. But instead, I could tell as soon as I answered the phone and I heard her voice that something was wrong. And she was calling to let me know that my aunt passed away. Of course, I was sad and I let myself be sad and I let myself cry right there at my desk. And I will hopefully not cry right now. And then I called my father and I spoke to him. It's my dad's sister who passed away. Um, and I got to speak with him and it was lovely and it was tender. And I felt better. I let myself cry. I felt better. I went through my work day and I got home and my amazing husband is like, oh, you think the celebration is over? And he knew about my aunt passing away. You think the celebration is over? We're on. And we had our amazing, like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm a homebody, okay, guys? I'm a big time homebody. So we make forts. I don't know if when you guys were kids, you made forts. Like, I am a master at making forts. When I met my husband, it was one of the things that he also said he was amazing as a kid and we bonded over that. So we make the ultimate forts. The dog also loves it. So we had fort night. And ordered in sushi and had more champagne and continued our celebration. And the next day, when I woke up, I slept in. I was so tired. I slept in. I have so many emotions. So this is like 3 days now, right? The next morning, I wake up. My husband had already taken the dog for a walk and came back with flowers and orange juice for mimosas because they're my favorite. And he said, this entire weekend, we are celebrating. I did all of those things. The celebration was real. The sadness was real. The anxiety was real. The tender feeling with my inner child, it was real. All of the emotions I experienced were full and real, and I experienced each one, and I am freaking okay. Not only am I okay, I'm a podcaster, baby. I am so proud of myself and the person I am to say yes to myself, to do this, to let my heart free out into the world with whatever comes back. That's real life. And that's real life manifesting. It is nothing like this fantastical stuff I had in my mind. So, what it all comes down to, really, no joke, is our emotions and our ability to hold ourselves through them. All of them, the full range of them, because as a human being, you are meant to experience all full range of human emotions, all of them, and be okay because you're having a human experience. And in doing that, you get to achieve everything you freaking want. It's not an either or situation. They are not mutually exclusive. So no matter what I had to learn in terms of skill set to get here, I can do all that. You can do all that. We can learn whatever. The part that we often don't realize that we need to learn is emotional strength and resilience, self-soothing. And then you can do anything because you're going to be okay. I love you all. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to live my dreams. This is absolutely a dream come true for me. And I feel it deep down to my bones. I've never been happier. I'll see you in the next one.